Welcome to the Business of Hearing podcast, the #1 marketing and practice growth podcast for high-performing private practice hearing care leaders. It's Friday, and this is my end-of-week roundup of what's top of mind after 7 days of helping some of the world's best private practices to attract high-quality patients, fight the evil forces of manufacturer-owned chains, and be impossible to compete with. My name's Ollie Luke. Pull up a chair, pour yourself a drink, and let's have a chat. Hello and welcome along to another episode of the Business of Hearing podcast. It is Friday, and I'm going to ask you to do something for me now, and it's to eliminate reality. Let's just talk very hypothetically, like just zoom out of the day-to-day craziness that we all live in, and let's just take a back seat here while you listen to me. Don't jump to any conclusions. Let's just play this out, because I know what I'm about to say is a bit of a controversial, and you know, in that scene with The Simpsons where he gets chased with a pitchforks, like, I feel that could be this instance right now. So let's please eliminate reality and just play this through. But I feel there's real value in being the most expensive practice in your area. And I'm going to share why that is, because I feel the way it breaks down currently doesn't quite add up. And I'll explain everything I'm thinking, and I will preempt it again. Just eliminate reality. Let's just play all this hypothetically. But I really want to try and make a point here that isn't stepping on toes. Now, when you look at any other industry, take yourself out of hearing care, look at any other industry, and it typically breaks into three categories. And I've spoken about this in the past, but I'll just reinforce this because I think it's so key. Like most industries, you can really draw a line in the sand to break down every option in the market to say it's either a mass market offer, it's a niche market offer, or it's a luxury market offer. So it's like mass, niche, or luxury is where most businesses in any market will fit. So this is easy. Apply it to watches. You could buy a $20 watch on Amazon. It would tell you the time. It would sit on your wrist. It would last for a long time. It would do everything a watch needs to do. $20. Mass market. Niche market. Like, what is the interest of somebody who wears the watch and needs it for something? Well, what about the people who are very health focused? They want to know their resting heart rate. They want to know what their steps are per day. They want to know their sleep score in the morning. Like, those people would spend a few $100s on a watch so they can constantly be monitoring every exercise movement they do and understand how many calories they burn on a daily basis. And then you've got the luxury market, and that would be common one is Rolex, right? Rolex sell watches $20,000, $100,000, and fundamentally, it tells you the time. It does the same function as that. Like, the time, like, it's mad, but it's a luxury market. It's status focused. People don't buy it because they want to know the time, right? They buy it because it gives an outward expression to other people about who I am and my values and what I stand for, and that I'm better in many ways. So, like, there's that market, and every market breaks into that, and watches is a common one. But jump ropes, you can buy a jump rope off Amazon for a few dollars. You can go and buy a CrossFit jump rope with a very certain measurement for $120. Or if you really wanted to spend $600-700 on a jump rope, let me tell you, you can find them. It's lambskin, it's cashmere, it's super fancy, it's made in some random part of some European Alps or something. I don't know. It's like got some stupid backstory to it. Like, that exists across any other industry. Hearing care industry, it doesn't. And the reason is, well, our market size hasn't really been big enough, right? You know, our market total, let's use the US numbers, is around 20 million, I would guess, if I'm looking at how many people are over the age of 70. Not all have hearing loss. Take into consideration the people under the age of 70 that have hearing loss. I'm making some very rough guesses here, but like a relatively small market size in comparison, and probably smaller than that. So no wonder we've not been able to do that. We've had to almost be mass market, and a very few focused on the niche market of saying we're all in on pediatrics, we're all in on tinnitus, we support these types of people with these types of hearing challenges, etc. But like, just looking at that becomes interesting. And if we transcend that through to another way to look at our industry, there's cheap, there's mid-range, and there's premium in terms of like where different options sit for the patient. You've got cheap, your Costco's, they'll deliver you premium hearing aids. You'll get your warranty, you'll get your 2 years L&D. If you've got any challenges, you can revisit them over and over again. Like, they've got service as you need it, very convenient, open 7 days a week. That's the cheap end of the market. On the other end, you've got premium, right? Of a private practice who will give you maybe 4 to 5 years warranty, service plan, etc. Premium technology, all the care you need, $8,000. Are the kind of numbers where I'm seeing the industry peak, at least from my lens. I'm sure there's more out there. So like, that's the extremes of the cheap in the market and the most expensive in the market. And a lot sit in that kind of mid-range area. Something about using my hands like this that made me feel very Donald Trump-esque then. I kid. So with that consideration, it becomes a little interesting, because I look at the market, and in any industry, I can't see why anybody would want to be in the middle or at the bottom. You'd always want to be at the top, and we know that being at the bottom, it's a price race to the bottom. And you're not going to win that race because people have access to cost of goods. Their economies of scale are very different to yours. So that's a battle that price-conscious people you're going to attract. It's going to be a nightmare. You've got no loyalty to the patient. They'll go where the cheapest option is. It's a very difficult business to grow, scale, and operate. In the middle, where the majority are, it's a little challenging, right? We see this because you're attracting everyone and everyone. You're open to business to whoever wants to come through the door. You'll find a solution for them. The challenge I have with it is the part where it becomes tricky is when it comes to like how you position yourself. If you're middle of the market, but you position yourself as the best in the area, then you create this conflict. And, let's say you wanted to buy something. Let's say it was an air fryer. And if you don't own an air fryer, go and get one. Best investment ever. But if you were assessing between 2 air fryers on the market, one had more features, one had more power, one was a better design, but it was cheaper, then you'd be very conflicted. Like, an economist would say, well, everybody would choose that. But the reality is you wouldn't, and I wouldn't, because it doesn't add up. And when something doesn't add up, it creates confusion. And when confusion occurs, you don't make a purchase. A confused mind never buys. And if it's between that and that one's significantly better, but it's cheaper, then it becomes confusing. And that is very much what happens in the middle of our market. Like, we say we offer the best service, we say we offer the best technology, we say we're the best in the area, and then they come and then the price points are all over the show. It naturally creates confusion. I feel shifting towards being more premium focused in the market is going to be so smart in the future. We've seen the boomers now come through at a huge rate. Over the next 6 years, our market is going to boom by 3.5 times the size of it is now in terms of over 70-year-olds. And we know early 70s is the peak time where most people will step into their first set of hearing aids, or at least the age where the first sale typically occurs. So the market is going to go like that, which means that the opportunity to focus on building a premium element of your practice is so key. So if you can build a model that's focused on the premium end of the market, that charges more and delivers more, and as a result, you're able to reinvest the profit that you generate in order to create a true 5-star experience that attracts more of the type of people that will pay that, it becomes a beautiful almost ability just to service those premium patients who pay a premium fee. You make premium profits, and as a result, operate the type of practice that delivers the lifestyles and outcomes that many of us want. So I did say eliminate reality. This is the reason why, because we're all so close to the craziness, right? That this sounds all hypothetical and stupid, but that's really where I'd be considering right now. The market is changing. Somebody is going to build a model that services the luxury end of this market, this ever-changing, growing market. And they're going to charge significantly more than you. It's going to completely shift the dynamics of the market. And it's only ever going to be a private practice that does it. It's going to be an independently owned private practices. The big groups, they're looking for transactions, scale. It's going to be somebody who goes, I don't need 100 patients a week, but I'll do a good job of taking care of 15 of them and do it really well and be able to scale that model beautifully. I think that's the one that's going to sit on this concierge premium care, where there's going to be a lot of money up for grabs, a lot of opportunity, and an ability to change the industry quite dramatically. But there'll be a lot of patients that will gravitate towards a solution like that. But it's going to take bravery, and I see it's going to happen in two ways. It's either going to be somebody that's starting a practice now that builds something purposely to meet that market, or it's going to be a private practice right now that already has a great reputation under their belt and a lot of experience, that understands that they're always running two practices, the one that they're running and operating today and the one that they're growing, and they'll continue to take care of the one that they're running today, but in the background, they'll start building this one to focus on the premium end of the market. So the choice is very much in your control. I just find the middle of the market, given that it's where the majority of practices are, it's stretched, it's messy, it's a battleground. And I think looking up towards the premium end and building a model to service it would be a dramatically easier practice to operate, which will be a little less chaotic, a little more purposeful in the type of patients you work with and the way that you work with them. And if I'm looking at it from the outside, I think a better business to operate as well with less day-to-day headaches. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that. I thought it was interesting as I play through these things in my head. I was playing through, looking at every other industry that's had big markets to play with and looked at how those dynamics have shifted. And we're on the cusp of having that big market. And we're kind of quite like that at the moment, quite tight with a very kind of small market with very similar offerings. That is going to stretch significantly over the next 6 years, and somebody's going to take a big bite out of that. And why can't it be you if that's what you want to do and what you want to build? So I appreciate you joining me on a Friday for my little end of the week waffle, and I will speak to you soon. And there we have it. Another episode has come to an end, and I have a quick favour to ask. If you have found this helpful, then who do you know who should listen to this podcast? I strongly believe a rising tide lifts all boats, and right now, private practice needs to stick together to fight these big, gormless groups and these manufacturer-owned Goliaths that are looking to take market share from us. Consider who should be listening, pass on the word about the Business of Hearing podcast, and I'll see you again next week.